Okay, let's start cross-legged. So we want to stack our spine. So let's start by tilting the hips forward and then back, and then finding that spot in the middle, right where your spine can nicely stack, your weight coming down into your sits bones. And then some nice deep breaths, bringing your awareness to your breath. Feeling your weight settling on the floor. And now with your breath, let's start to do our seated cat-cow. So inhale, chest comes forward, look up, and exhale, round the spine back, moving with the pace of your breath and finding that full motion in your spine. And then back to our stacked spine. And now let's do our shoelace pose. So bring the left knee bent on the floor first, and then cross the right leg over the top of the left, trying to stack the knees one over the other. Feeling that stretch in the outer hips. And then maybe you already feel enough of a stretch here. But if you want to feel a little bit more, you can start to fold your upper body forward. Your heels can be closer in towards your hips or farther away from your hips, just depends on the mobility you have in your hips and what feels best. All right, let's bring the spine straight, lean back, uncross the legs, and then we'll do the other side. So let's bend the right knee on the floor in front of you, and then cross the left leg on top, stacking your knees. And again, you can stay sitting up or start to fold forward. Just sending your mind to where you're feeling this stretch. Trying to be present in your body. All right, let's sit up straight again. Bring the left leg out to the side. Bend your right knee in until the sole of your right foot is against your inner left thigh. And let's do a side stretch here. So reaching up and over with the right arm. Keep that right hip glued to the floor and reach and stretching open the right side of the body. Maybe even trying to turn the chest more up towards the ceiling, not facing the ceiling, but heading that direction. And then let's let the chest come down facing the left leg, arms frame your left leg. You can round down. Hopefully feeling a stretch in your lower right back. And now let's send the right hand back behind you. Lift the hips up and reach back with your left arm. for baby wild thing, coming up on your left foot and right knee. Really having a big stretch here on the left front of the body. Reach behind you with the left arm. And hips down. Let's switch sides. So right leg out, left leg in. And then bring that left arm up and over, gluing the left sits bone to the floor, reaching through your fingertips. And again, thinking about rotating the chest in the direction of the ceiling just to feel a little more of that stretch on the left side of your torso. Nice deep breath. And then let's let the chest face the right leg. Frame your leg with your hands and curl down over the right leg. Noticing a stretch in the lower left back. And then rounding up, let's send that left hand behind and lift the hips. Reach your right arm back. So feeling this nice big stretch on the front of your body on the right side. Reach through your right fingertips. Lift your hips. And hips down. And let's come to all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to send the left leg back, reaching back through the left toes, and send the right arm forward. So we're going to start with strong core, pulling your belly in, no sway in the back. And then reach back, grab your left foot on the big toe side. And then let your belly drop and look up to the ceiling as you kick your left foot up towards the ceiling. So big back bend here, maybe a stretch in that right shoulder. All right, release, stretch in opposite directions, and then let's curl the other way, knee to elbow, round your back, pulling the abdomen in. And again, reach in opposite directions. And then reach back, grab your foot. Look up, lift up. I think I said grab the big toe side last time. You can try grabbing the little toe side to see how that feels. And reach in opposite directions. One more time, elbow to knee, around your back. And release. And a knee back to floor. All right, reach your right leg back, left arm forward. So again, starting with a nice strong core here, pulling your abdomen in. And then reach back. Let's try this again, grabbing the big toe side. And then drop your belly, look up, lift your toes to the ceiling. Hopefully feeling a nice big stretch in that left shoulder and arm. All right, release, reach and stretch in opposite directions, abdomen in. And then curl, elbow to knee, rounding in. And then reach and stretch. And then reach back, grab the pinky toe side of your foot. And lift into your back bend. And release, reach, and stretch in opposite directions. And then elbow to knee, round your back. All right, bring your hand and knee back to the floor. Let's curl the toes under, sit back on your hips into our toe stretch. And then we're gonna do our eagle arms. So bring arms out, bring your right arm under your left, cross at your elbows, cross at your wrists if you're able to today. And then lift your elbows up, feeling this stretching and opening between your shoulder blades. Stretching your shoulders. And release the arms, and let's do the other direction. So left arm under right, cross at the elbows and the wrists. Lift your elbows. Really twisting the arms to feel that stretch in the back and shoulders. Release your arms. Let's bring the weight off of your toes. Bring the tops of your feet to the floor and then lean back into our ankle stretch for the top of the ankles and tops of the feet. Lifting your knees off the floor if you're able. And then bringing the weight forward again. Let's come into our squat. So bring your feet apart, set your hips down in between. Let's press the knees open with the elbows, palms together, and lengthen your spine, reaching down through the tailbone and up through the crown of the head. And then coming into a dangle, so start to straighten the legs, bring your feet hip width apart, toes facing forward. Bend your knees, let your upper body hang. Option to grab your elbows. And maybe play around with where your weight is in your feet. You're grabbing your elbows, release your hands, and then stomach in. Let's round up. Just standing. And then if you're not already there, come to the top of your mat. We're going to come into chair pose. Inhale, arms up and hips down, sitting deep down into your chair, body weight back in your heels, stomach in, chest lifted. And then bring your palms together at the center of your chest and twist to your right. So look down, make sure that left knee isn't coming forward. You want your knees level. And then look up towards the ceiling. And try to think about bringing the middle of your chest to your hands. Sit down even deeper. Now look down at the floor and let's step that left leg back. So coming into a lunge here, and then look back up towards the ceiling, coming into our lunge with a twist. Let's untwist, send your arms back. So we're in a flying lunge now. Upper body's coming forward. And then inhale, lift up, high lunge, arms up. And straighten the front leg. Let's turn, face the side of the mat, bring hands to hips. Make sure your toes are facing forward, stomach in, and let's forward fold. See if you can keep your quads engaged here, allowing your hamstrings to open up. And you can just let your head dangle. Option to grab your ankles and pull a little bit. Think about bringing your body weight towards your toes. Now let's come up halfway. Leave your left fingertips on the floor. Lift your right arm in the air. And twist here. You can let your hips kind of tilt over to the right. Feel maybe an extra little stretch on the left inner thigh. And switch sides. And left hand down, stomach in, flat back. Let's bring hands to hips and slowly come back up. Turn your right foot to face the mat. And let's come into our high lunge. Up on the back toes, arms lifted. Strong legs, lifting up out of your waist. And then come forward into our flying lunge, arms back. And let's step forward into chair. Arms up, hips down, reach through the pinky side of your fingers. Palms together at the center of your chest, and let's twist to the left. So again, making sure your knees stay level, and then look up to the ceiling. Hips down low, stomach in, spine straight to help with the twist. Look down at the floor. Let's step the right foot back. Coming into our lunge here, and then look back up to the ceiling. Untwist, arms back, flying lunge. And then arms up, come up into our high lunge, lifting up and out of your waist. Straighten your front leg. Let's turn to face the side of the mat, palms and our hands on your hips. Bring your toes pointing forward, feet are parallel, stomach in, flat back, slowly come down. Again, trying to keep the quads engaged, body weight towards the heels. Option to grab your ankles to help pull your spine towards the floor. And then coming up halfway, let's take the left hand, grab the right ankle, and pull through, twisting to look up underneath the right armpit. And switch sides. Untwist, stomach in, flat back, slowly come back up, hands on hips. And then let's turn the left foot to face the front, come into our high lunge, facing forward. And then upper body forward, arms back. And then step the right foot next to the left and forward fold. And step back into plank. Take a nice deep breath here. And exhale, downward dog. Let's lift the right leg up in the air. Bend your right knee, open your hips out to the side. Squeeze your heel in, lift your knee. And then let's bring that right leg down, under, and through, coming into a split leg side plank. Lift your left arm up in the air. Lift your hips. Come back into three-legged dog. Right leg up. And right foot down. Let's do the other side. Lift your left leg in the air. Bend your left knee. Open your hips out to the left. Squeezing your heel in and lifting your knee. And then let's bring that left leg down, under, and through. Side plank on the other side. Lift your right arm, lift your hips. And back to three-legged dog. And left foot down. And look between your hands, hop or step to the front of your mat. Bend your knees, dangle here. And we're going to do that sequence one more time, a little bit faster, starting with our chair. So toes together, a little space between your heels, and let's sit into chair, arms up, and then palms together at the center of your chest. Twist to the right. Now look down, slide your left foot back. Get your neck balance here, and then look up. Untwist, arms back. Inhale, arms up. High lunge. Straighten the front leg. Turn to the side of your mat, hands on your hips. Toes pointing forward and forward fold. Come up halfway, left fingertips to the floor, right arm up. And switch sides. And left hand down, stomach in, come up flat back, stomach in. Turn your right foot to face the front and come up back into our high lunge. And then flying lunge. And then step your left foot next to your right and palms together at the center of your chest. All right, stomach in, chest lifted, hips down. Twist to the left. Look down, slide the right foot back into lunge. And once you have your balance, look back up at the ceiling. Untwist, arms back. Inhale, lift up, high lunge. Straighten the front leg, turn to face the side of your mat. Hands on hips and forward fold. Come up halfway, grab your right ankle with your left hand and twist to the right. And switch to the other side. Untwist, stomach in, flat back, hands on hips, lift up. Turn your left toes forward, bend the front leg, come into high lunge. And flying lunge, arms back. And feet together, forward fold. All right, step back into plank. Take a breath, downward dog. So this time we're going to do a twist here in downward dog. So just walk your feet forward a little bit. So you're in a narrow stance. You're gonna come up on the left fingertips and then reach the left hand back, grab your right ankle. And just like we did in our wide-legged forward fold, you're gonna twist to the right, look up under your armpit. Untwist, left hand back to the floor. Now let's come up on the right fingertips and then reach your right hand back, grab the outside of your left ankle and pull and look up underneath your left armpit. Untwist, and then let's bring knees to the floor. Swing your legs around in front. Let's come into our plow pose, or if you'd rather not do plow today, you can do shoulder stand. Come onto your back, lift your hips up and over, and feet come to the floor behind your head. Hands can support your lower back. And now slowly Let your spine come back to the floor, hips to the floor, and feet on the floor. Now cross your right foot over your left knee. Let's pull the legs in. Trying to keep your shoulders relaxed here, just using your bicep strength to pull. And release, other side. And release, feet back on the floor, hip width apart. We'll just finish with our bridge. So hands on the floor, press into your heels, lift your hips, reach your tailbone forward, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Really pressing into the feet. And release, hips back to the floor. Bring your legs out long, arms by your sides. And completely relax. Just let everything go. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Use your exhale to release that tension. If your mind is wandering, come back to your body. Notice if tension's crept back in anywhere. Use your breath to release it. Now start to deepen your breath. Move your fingers and toes, hands and feet, arms and legs. If you'd like, bring your arms over your head for a full body stretch. And then either turn onto your side and push up from there or roll on your spine back to seated.